Alright, Schlockmeister fans, are you ready for some killer bees? I know I am. It's the savage bees. Let's watch. Alright, it's rather dark, but our film movie starts with a some sort of ocean liner barge ship. This crashes into it.
Scared and muffled. He had something in his mouth. Get away, he said. Get away. From what? Don't know.
Here's acclaimed actor Ben Johnson. He's a local sheriff, and he just discovered his dog.
What?
That's a dead dog. Dog's been poisoned, apparently, he thinks.
Killed my dog.
Oh, I don't believe it.
You would believe it if you could see him all cuffed. I'm going to New Orleans.
During Mardi Gras?
That coroner is going to do an autopsy. We're going to have Zeth's blood analyzed to find out what kind of poison killed him.
Here we have a little girl playing out in the field, and we get a point of view from a swarm of bees. Pulling a body from the water. Notice the stings.
I'm not going to tell you this again.
Some kind of bugs killed Zeth.
You really want to watch this?
That's Michael Parks.
Your dog's stomach is full of bees.
Mardi Gras season.
We don't know.
Local officials.
Where are they? We don't know that either. You see? Look, I believe you. But I got no men to spare. Document it. And then we'll take it from there.
Lieutenant?
Yeah.
South America only as an experiment.
They watch a video.
The attempt was to increase honey production by controlled breeding of the more aggressive African bees with a gentler Italian strain. Through an accident, the experimental colony was released and began uncontrolled crossbreeding with the South American bees.
Bees attack only to ward off invaders. The Africanized bees attack when annoyed by color or sound. Once an invader has left, Italian honeybees will not continue to swarm in anger. African strain will pursue a quarry for as much as 24 hours.
Here we got a farmer, poor guy. He ends up drowning in there.
I'm Pellegrino. Who are you?
It's Roscoe P. Coltrane.
I'm Jeff Duran. I'm assistant medical examiner at the coroner's office. We have an emergency. Today?
What difference does today make?
Well, what kind of an emergency? It's about a swarm of killer bees. Killer bees? Take that stairway. I'm in 301.
The damn fool civil
Roscoe wants to help, but
sit on his
What do you want me to do? Run up and down a levee with a butterfly net in my hand? Let me tell you something, mister. Now, you want action? You go through the proper channels or you won't get it at all.
that's the actress Gretchen Corbett.
If those bees
So they go out to look for the
head for
bees.
the burner and get behind it.
The swarm, anyway.
Can you light up that fast every time?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's fine. Now we're going to form a line and move through this field.
They end up finding that little girl's body. Actually, I don't know if they were looking for the bees or the girl.
fast asleep. Fine, I guess you're gonna wake him up.
It looks like a swarm of bees, although it's very dark. While they're out in the swamps there, remember that farmer? They find him.
He's got two eaten in the water.
Meanwhile, Michael Parks and Gretchen Corbett, they had a romance at one point in the past, and all this bee stuff is rekindling it. They finally find where the bees' swarm is. Apparently it's in a hot dog stand.
There.
The bees are in there.
He's going inside now.
So I thought we were led to believe there were millions of bees, but apparently there are just enough to fill up a hot dog stand. There's another body. And then a couple of pirates show up for a hot dog. I believe they were going to a costume party or something, but
Please don't let this be happening.
anyway, Gretchen Corbett then is trapped in her car.
Jeff, the bees are coming at me. Oh, Jeff, they're coming in my car.
This guy has a possible solution, though.
As long as that swarm is viable, every bee will stay with it, so we gotta keep it together.
Well, what are you gonna do?
You could freeze it.
What?
Freeze it. Bees become immobile at 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
15 miles an hour. We'll escort you. You follow us. Can you do that?
Guess where they're going?
I'll try. Where are we going?
Where the Saints play.
Superdome.
The Superdome. It's Ash Wednesday, so apparently the streets are deserted,
We have an emergency.
which is a little hard to believe.
You're on danger. You have 60 seconds to clear the street. We have an emergency. You are in danger. You have 60 seconds to clear the street.
Hang in there.
They're approaching the Superdome now.
Mine.
Yeah, I know. And
And she's running out of gas,
What happened?
of course.
well, it's the engine. I think I'm running out of gas. I can't.
So, yep, she runs out of gas. So they decide to push her.
I'll straight ahead now.
They push her right onto the field of the Superdome.
Oh, now just hold on now.
Oh, God.
Now they just gotta crank up the AC.
61 degrees. We want it down to 45 degrees. Can you do that?
I don't know, Sheriff.
The temperature is dropping in there. But did it suddenly get cool enough in there? As they walk hand in hand near the 40-yard line. We pan down and look what we find. AB. They are opening the door for a sequel, which I'll be reviewing tomorrow. Alright, let's talk about this silly movie, The Savage Bees. Alright, this is a movie, I think I saw it when I was a kid, I'm not sure, but I saw it again in the maybe the mid-90s or so when I retaped it. I originally had this on a EP Speed VHS tape, got it from my Schlockmeister brother Jeff. He rented it from somewhere in Milwaukee. Copied it for me, copied it for himself too. So that's how I originally got it. I think I only saw it, like I said, recently in like the mid-90s when I retaped it. But anyway, the movie itself, there's a swarm of deadly bees that have come across the state of Louisiana, most notably in the New Orleans area. And they've come from somewhere in South America. They hitched a ride on a boat, some sort of shipping boat. They are the deadly African bee, which they give some sort of convoluted excuses to how this happened. They brought them in from overseas and they mated with the local bees and they became really nasty bees. Just horrible bees, that's what they are. So anyway, they start killing some dogs and some people, some little kids. And the sheriff, one of the sheriffs in the area, is played by Ben Johnson. It was his dog that died, so he decides to see what happened here. It turns out his dog's stomach is full of bees, and then they realize they got a bee problem. So they start killing people, these bees do, and then, of course, it's during Mardi Gras, so just like in Jaws and in Jaws of Satan, you know, the local sheriffs and everything, or the local mayors and stuff, don't want to do anything to disrupt, you know, the festivities and such, so they don't do much. But anyway, they eventually figure out, some guy says that you can get rid of these bees by freezing them, but how do you freeze a bunch of bees in the middle of Louisiana? It doesn't get that cold down there to begin with, so they decide, let's put the bees in the Superdome where the Saints play. So they apparently all the bees, you know, we're led to believe that there's millions and millions of them, but there's a small enough amount that they can be hiding in this hot dog stand. So they get the bees to come out and swarm this car that Gretchen Corbett, who by the way was in Jaws of Satan, she's driving this car slowly, and they say, hey, just drive to the Superdome, so we'll follow you. So they drive really slowly through New Orleans. These bees are sticking to this car because they're trying to get her inside. I'm not sure why they're driving, not flying away or going after other people, but nonetheless, that's what the bees do. They manage to, it runs out of gas, of course, but they manage to push it the rest of the way with another car into the Superdome where it's 61 degrees. They got to get it down to 45 degrees to kill these bees. They don't even know if they can make it that cold in there, but eventually temperature does drop. They do it, and the bees all die. End of story. Of course, the last scene in the movie, there's an extra bee, which leads to a sequel, which of course they did make. Terror Out of the Sky, which I'll be reviewing in a couple days, if not sooner. That was the sequel. This was made for television, 1976. Michael Parks, Ben Johnson, and Gretchen Corbett. Michael Parks have a movie called Wild Seed that he was in, a pretty rare film. But anyway, that's it. Just a killer bee movie. They made a lot of killer animal movies, especially a lot of killer bee movies in the 70s, and this is one of them. So check it out. By the way, this DVD put out by Cheesy Flicks, the beginning of it is really bad because the picture rolls and rolls several times. It's obviously a VHS rip here, but after the first couple of minutes, it stops rolling, and the quality is what it is. The rest of the way, it's okay, but nothing spectacular. So anyway, watch it. Let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments down below. It's called The Savage Bees. Check it out. Bye.